I made a brief demonstration here that I might as well show you. So we've talked about the methanol+benzene system several times here this semester. The predicted value for the K12 is this number. Let's fire up PowerPoint. But if you use that value, then you recognize that you've got LLE that is overwhelming your VLE. So we've been talking about this picture over and over again many, many times. And we've said that if the K12 is equal to 0, then they don't necessarily dislike each other. They don't like each other so much. But it's kind of neutral. And if K12, so which one is A? They like each other or they don't like each other? They don't like each other, right? So as K12 becomes more positive, then they don't like each other. As K12 becomes more negative, they do like each other. And as they don't like each other, they're going to face split, right? The liquid-liquid equilibria will become more prevalent. So let's take a look at that with this spreadsheet. And I've already made the adjusted the K12 value so that the LLE will be down in this vicinity. So that you can see that what's going to happen when I type in 0.11. So it was 0.10. What's going to happen when I type in 0.11? Something's going to change. Which way is it going to go? Up. The LLE is going to come up. All right? And this LLE here is called the binodal part of the phase diagram. Okay? So that's just another name for it. You see how it went up? Now, technically, I should recalculate my TXY diagram. So right now, it's 332. To recalculate the TXY diagram, I just call the solver and minimize the temperature differences. And you see, it came down, but maybe you didn't even notice it. It came down just a little bit. But remember that it was 331.9, 331 point something. And then at the end, as we increase this, you'll see what happens. So this hasn't changed yet. And now you can see it's not 331 anymore, it's 329. So it's a little bit, it's a much more subtle change than the liquid-liquid, the binodal coming up, but actually the VLE is going down. Okay? So one's coming up and the other's going down, and they're sort of crashing into each other like armies on a field. Okay? I hesitate to even show you this, but this, for some reason, made me think of this Charge of the Light Brigade. This is probably a high school poem you studied. Okay, so you've got what happened, the history of this is it's in the Crimean War in the late 1800s, and somebody gives the order for this cavalry of 600 men to go take a hill. Unfortunately, they point to the wrong hill, and so this 600 men get sent through a valley where Russian troops are on both sides of the valley firing down on them to take a hill that's so far away that the supporting armies can never catch up with it. They go and they're shot down and killed all left and right. They do take the hill, okay, but then there's nobody to work their way into, so they have to turn around and go back right through the same stupid valley. And they get shot all up again. Guess what? They were waiting for them. They were ready for the return trip. And so it goes on and on and on. But so they have to ride back, and they do ride back, but not the 600. Okay, it's kind of a sad story. Into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, into the valley of death. So it's these armies are crashing into each other. I thought that was very similar to the kind of thing that we were dealing with. And I felt, now remember, part of the point of this is, the more ridiculous it is, the easier it is to remember, right? So if somebody tells you a really stupid, bad joke, okay, you will remember that joke. You can never tell it because it's too embarrassing to even tell, but it sticks in your brain and you always remember it because of how ridiculous it is. So here you go. Here's my version of that, okay? So, we don't have a valley of death, but the Gibbs energy is minimized. That's true. And as the excess internal energy is getting more and more, then that's where the LLE binodal kicks in, okay? The liquids divide, okay? As they divide, the impurities become less because they're shifting further and further apart where the binodal is, right? Yeah, it's on the video. So you can embarrass me with it when you graduate, senior year. So you see that the vapor binodal, the liquid binodal is going up, the vapor is coming downward slightly. The components don't like each other, that's why they're separating. And the phase boundaries eventually crash into each other. And it's not exactly. Okay, so maybe that will make it easier to remember some of the